There will be mornings when motivation is nowhere to be found. There will be days when simply swinging our legs over the edge of the bed feels like an impossible victory. For many of us watching, the single greatest barrier standing between us and our destination isn't a lack of talent or opportunity. It's our allegiance to our emotions. We're guided by how we feel. We don't sense the drive to rise, so we don't understand this. Every single time we surrender the comfort and decline to pursue what matters, we aren't just losing a day. We could be delaying our entire future by half a year, perhaps even longer. That one specific morning we chose to stay under the covers might have set our timeline back further than we can imagine. We operate only when the mood strikes. Monday arrives, we're inspired, and we attack it. But by Wednesday, our commitment wavers like a student skipping a lecture. We need to exist in a state of relentless focus. Monday through Friday, it doesn't matter, every single day requires that same intensity. This is the critical distinction. Every person harbors ambitions. Every individual desires achievement. Yet, some rise and admit, we're just not in the mood, so they accomplish nothing and they fall behind. Others rise and declare, our emotional state is irrelevant. Our family depends on this. Our loved ones require this from us. It doesn't matter if we feel like training. It doesn't matter if we feel like leaving this bed. It doesn't matter if we feel like putting in the work. Our personal desires are secondary because this mission transcends us. This isn't about our comfort. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and we refuse to waste it. Our current position in life is a direct reflection of our reliance on feelings rather than fundamental principles. That's not what fuels us. We would have already achieved financial freedom if we had simply stopped crawling back into bed. Yes, we have access to guidance. Yes, we own the resources. So what? Those resources can't force us to rise. Stop diving into pursuits that we abandon the moment they become unenjoyable. Our mission needs to be untouchable. When something holds that level of importance, the phrase, "I don't feel like getting up," ceases to exist. On the days we resist it, on the days we dread it, we lose the privilege of choice. There's nothing flawed with our aspirations. They are magnificent. Let's hold on to them tightly. What is the essential element? Steadfastness. Steadfastness means establishing a target, and on the morning we wake up with zero desire to move. We execute the plan we set for ourselves anyway. That is the entire definition of consistency. It lives in those moments we lack the will. Yet we glance at our partner. We look at our children. We consider the legacy of those who came before us, and we recognize our existence is built on the efforts of others. We must rise and forge ahead, even when every fiber of our being resists. Many misunderstand dedication. They think it's simply agreeing to a task. True dedication is remaining faithful to our word long after the initial excitement has faded. It means once we commit, there's no escape route. It means when dawn breaks and we'd rather stay horizontal, we force ourselves upright. We execute our promise regardless. It means when sacrifice feels unbearable, we push through anyway. It means when devotion wanes, we remain anchored because we comprehend the future rewards this journey will yield. Everyone asks, how did we unlock the secret? We carved our path through adversity. That's the truth. We rose at 3 every morning. Monday, we worked relentlessly. Tuesday, we shed tears. We remain unaffected by economic conditions. We remain unaffected by political leadership. We simply continue grinding. We simply continue contributing. We simply continued advancing. We kept improving. Our focus is on the system. We embrace this existence. We rise at 3 each morning, whether we're eager or exhausted, whether we're inspired or indifferent. Why? Because we're governed by the process, not by fleeting emotions. Champions aren't swayed by feelings. Champions don't rise at their convenience. There are specific coordinates for victory, and they are non-negotiable. If we aspire to be champions, we must be process-driven. When we sense ourselves decelerating, when we're in the middle of a task, what should we do? We declare, fatigue is irrelevant. Fatigue holds no power. Fatigue is merely a mental construct. If we convince ourselves we're exhausted, We will be. We refuse to acknowledge tiredness. We must persist in the battle. We must rise and fulfill our responsibilities, even if we have to drag ourselves forward inch by inch. We must reach a point where we can assert our will upon circumstances. The universe will yield to us once it recognizes our genuine commitment. We command our physical form. We govern our thoughts. We dictate what our bodies consume. We engage in exercise when we decide to, even on days we'd rather not, because this isn't merely an activity, it's our identity. Therefore, if we desire achievement, we must first master ourselves. Everyone possesses aspirations. Everyone has targets. But what's our strategy? Outline it. Chart the course. Consider the optimal moment. Then execute. We must allocate specific actions to each day, particularly during challenging times. A calendar operates without emotion. A schedule remains indifferent to birthdays, holidays, our health, or global chaos. A calendar simply doesn't care. A schedule remains unmoved. We repeat the process continuously until it becomes automatic. What are our Monday objectives? What does Tuesday demand? What time will we rise on Saturday? What will we accomplish while everyone else relaxes during the weekend? We need to intensify our efforts. Maintain momentum. We're not advocating for eliminating rest, but rest should only occur when it serves our victory, not when laziness strikes, but when genuine recovery is needed. We're not abandoning the mission. Genuine high achievers declare, we're heading toward our destination and we'll arrive regardless of the cost, regardless of the duration, regardless of the obstacles. That outcome becomes inevitable. We must determine our future selves and invest every fragment of our existence into becoming that person. Destiny isn't predetermined. Meant to be is whatever we decide it means. Our origins are irrelevant. Our history doesn't matter. Don't be deceived. If we're prepared to labor every single day, if we invest the effort, no force can halt our progress. What's the duration of our hesitation? Will we delay another half minute? Another hour? Perhaps we'll begin in a few hours. Or maybe we'll postpone until tomorrow. Will we wait until next week? Another month? How extended will our waiting period be? There's no express elevator to achievement. We must climb the stairs. That option doesn't exist in the realm of success. We need to embrace resilience. We need to cultivate tenacity. Our approach must be purposeful and calculated. The visions we hold, the outcomes we desire won't materialize through passive absorption. We must arise and actively pursue them. The opposition wants us diverted, focusing on irrelevant matters. They want us confined to our beds. They'd love for us to squander the upcoming weeks. People endlessly await perfect conditions. They anticipate all elements aligning perfectly. That moment will never arrive. We want to know when conditions are ideal. Right now, this instant, is our moment. If we intend to prosper, we must recognize the critical nature of time. Each day contains exactly 86,400 seconds. We must not only utilize them, but do so rapidly, with speed, with urgency. Why? Because someone else shares our trajectory. Another individual walks the identical path. They mirror our efforts, investing equivalent sweat, tears, and dedication. What must we do? Outpace them. Accelerate beyond our current speed. Are we comprehending this? This is why our alarms sound at 3 a.m. If others rise at 6, they might possess greater intelligence. They might enjoy more advantages. They might have access to superior resources. That's possible. However, we'll begin before them, and we'll execute faster than them. By the time they start their day with all their benefits, we'll have already crossed the finish line. The average individual can recite identical affirmations, study identical materials, maintain identical schedules. Yet the person who maintains heightened urgency throughout each day ultimately claims victory for the day, the week, the month, the year, and ultimately their entire existence. The current moment is a precious offering, and we must honor it accordingly. Accelerate our pace. Our movement is too leisurely. If we intend to complete anything, mere completion isn't sufficient. we must complete it swiftly. Our allotted time is briefer than we realize. Dominate the present. Dominate Monday, then confront Tuesday. After conquering Tuesday, challenge Wednesday. Progress further, master Thursday, then Friday. Then challenge the weekend boldly. Once we begin conquering individual days, we'll conquer weeks, then months, then years. Are we absorbing this message? Embrace urgency in our existence because our presence here is temporary. Life remains unpredictable. Certainty doesn't exist. What advantage does postponement offer us? What benefit comes from delaying our aspirations? We will either command our time or our time will command us. Eliminating procrastination requires only one action: begin. Simply start and procrastination expires. Refuse to permit it, interrupt it, and complete what's necessary. Don't question how to overcome delay, it's straightforward. The method is simply pushing through the initial resistance and finishing the task. How are we investing our moments? Are we generating progress? Advancing toward objectives? Enhancing ourselves? Or are we allowing time to dissipate unused? Execute what's required to energize ourselves, to initiate momentum. We recognize the temptation of desiring additional rest. Just 5 more minutes. We're instructing ourselves to reject that urge. Rise and advance deliberately along our chosen path. Enter the arena. Silence every inadequate justification and pursue our objectives aggressively. If we fail to maintain alignment and contribution daily, dissatisfaction naturally follows. This absence of regular consistency damages our self-worth. Consider this: anyone can occasionally appear positive, cheerful, or generous. However, those who demand this of themselves constantly, who maintain it daily, these individuals attain authentic confidence, genuine self-respect, and a truly exceptional existence. Even when anxiety surfaces, we must proceed. Even when we're pioneering alone in our family, we must proceed. We simply must continue regardless. Why? Because purpose-driven individuals, those at the summit, don't manufacture excuses. They manufacture pathways. We must simply continue. Some people require external encouragement to function. Not anymore. Even without validation, proceed. Can we remain faithful during minor tasks? Can we maintain consistency? Can we demonstrate persistence? Can we remain devoted during obscurity? Can we remain steady and immovable? Initiate our journey. Determine firmly that we will complete it. If we can reach a point where everything we begin reaches completion, we'll surpass the majority significantly. Position ourselves on the route to wellness, to joy, to achievement, to liberation. That route demands discipline. It requires adherence to structured behavior. Embrace it and pursue it vigorously. We cannot halt our progress. While we could be productive, while we could be advancing along less traveled roads, we're instead pondering excessively. We're lamenting our circumstances. We're expressing dissatisfaction. We must work. Assume command of our existence. Directly stated, if we intend to lead, embrace accountability. It's time to claim possession. Claim possession of our existence. Claim possession of our hours. Claim possession of each day. Understand this. If victory is our goal, we must rise and declare our exhaustion with mediocrity. Declare our exhaustion with promising everyone, our spouse, our mother, our entire circle, that we'll succeed. Announce that this time represents our breakthrough. Observe our trajectory. We must extract that hesitation completely. Some of us dread challenging subjects. Pursue them aggressively. Stop avoiding them. Enter that arena and secure that achievement. Obtain that knowledge necessary for success. We must actively pursue it. Our time here is limited. If we're not vigilant, we'll reach life's conclusion still promising future action. Tomorrow doesn't exist. From this moment forward, conduct ourselves as if tomorrow may never arrive. Recognize this instant offers our sole opportunity for action. Not tomorrow, not subsequent weeks. Here, now. Action alone remedies procrastination. Immediate action is required. Don't postpone. Don't generate justifications. Don't concentrate on potential negative outcomes. Simply elevate ourselves, exit our comfort zone, and accomplish what's necessary. We receive a single opportunity. Each time we detect ourselves delaying, remind ourselves that tomorrow isn't guaranteed. Only today remains for our action. Execute now. Humanity divides into two categories, children and adults. Children assign blame externally. That's their nature. When difficulties emerge and we begin accusing others, advancement becomes impossible. When confrontation arises, examine it directly and ask ourselves, do we shift responsibility elsewhere, or do we embrace accountability? Recognize that each time we point elsewhere, we're essentially postponing our aspirations. The instant blame enters our vocabulary, we immediately surrender our authority. The moment we attribute fault externally, we're essentially announcing our immaturity and requiring external intervention. When we claim, he caused this or she caused that, we're indicating we cannot manage the situation independently. We must claim possession and complete accountability. We must commit to whatever necessity arises. We claim possession. We'll rise early. We'll remain late. This explains the tendency to assign blame, because accountability carries discomfort. We transfer authority because acknowledging personal failure hurts excessively. We haven't prepared ourselves for that discomfort. We haven't confronted our reflection and admitted we disappointed ourselves. We're indebted to ourselves. We didn't progress through excuses. No, we didn't originate from privilege. No, our parent lacks connections. No, our lack extensive associations. No, we don't belong to exclusive circles. Yet we'll achieve success regardless. We'll reach their level. Why? Because we owe it to ourselves. Nothing can impede our progress except our own choices. The determinations we make currently rest entirely with us. Embrace complete ownership. Hold ourselves answerable and refuse to grant ourselves leniency. We're addressing ourselves directly. The single individual we genuinely influence is ourselves. Take possession. We respect ourselves sufficiently to invest maximum effort or abstain entirely. Eventually, we must exhaust our tolerance for anything less than premier status. We must adopt intensity. We compete with intensity. Our sole competition reflects ourselves. We must be the ones rising each morning, maintaining structure, investing persistent daily effort. Because this generates achievement. No external figure coach, instructor, advisor, supervisor can substitute for this. It's perpetually us against ourselves. Escaping mental imprisonment requires ceasing contemplation and initiating action. Research consistently demonstrates that initiating movement on any task increases continuation probability. The obstacle lies in indecision. Those minor items we're neglecting, address them immediately. We recognize competing demands exist. Address them anyway. When we determine to accomplish something, we activate the neural frequency necessary for execution. Methodology details remain secondary. The essential component is knowing completion will occur. We request our genuine commitment. Upon waking each single day, compel ourselves toward one minor progressive action for 7 consecutive days. That's the sole requirement. Cease overthinking. Actually commence implementation. Justifications for postponement will perpetually exist. Inconveniences will constantly interfere. Schedules will always appear overcrowded. This represents permanent reality. We must simply work through it. Justifications for required action will perpetually exist. If our desire burns sufficiently, acknowledge that success procedures initially prove consistently inconvenient. This inconvenience doesn't persist indefinitely. If we maintain commitment, if we allocate necessary time, if we navigate through difficulties. These actions transform into habitual patterns. They eventually require minimal conscious effort or reflection. They become automatic. Establishing constructive automatic patterns within our existence generates automatic triumph. Not a single morning arrives when we don't entertain returning to sleep or experience apprehension regarding upcoming demands. And our response? We rise and manage it regardless. We must comprehend that failing to execute our strategy, failing to rise during fatigue or fear, constitutes self-sabotage extending beyond ourselves. It affects our family, our colleagues, our organization, our community. Our primary adversary reflects our own reflection. It's us opposing us. The sole obstruction we encounter originates internally. No external source. It's us. We must confront ourselves because we're causing our own stagnation. We must address our reflection directly and declare an end to this pattern. We'll cease self-sabotage. We'll terminate persistent delay. We recognize our potential for greater advancement, yet we consistently permit ourselves to underperform, hold ourselves answerable, and refuse to grant ourselves leniency. Consider this. If for an entire decade we eliminate avoidance of necessary actions, what would our existence resemble? What outcomes would arise from ceasing to squander available opportunities? Our efficiency would multiply exponentially. We cannot fathom the productivity levels achievable by truly efficient individuals. We challenge ourselves during this remaining period to accomplish what we've never attempted, to obtain what we've never possessed. Cease awaiting external motivation and instead mobilize ourselves. Daily, mobilize ourselves mornings, afternoons, evenings. Consistently mobilize ourselves. Approach this intentionally and deliberately. We govern our emotional responses. No external force controls them. Therefore, when we claim diminished motivation, the issue isn't environmental, it's internal, reflecting our ceased self-propulsion. We must motivate ourselves constantly. If we encounter moments of discouragement or exhaustion, if we reach points where motivation evaporates, we can immediately pivot and transform our emotional state. Nothing maintains control over us. We command our emotions. We direct our mood. No external force governs our disposition. Perhaps something disrupted our equilibrium or something restored it. Achievement won't be presented to us. However, if we're prepared to rise daily and claim it, if we're prepared to rise daily and labor for it, if we're prepared to rise daily and persist from dawn until darkness, we can obtain the existence others merely envision. We engage in self-negotiation. Many of us articulate reasons for incapability and remain trapped within this internal bargaining cycle. Such negotiations are impermissible. They simply cannot occur. If authentic life transformation represents our goal, achieve it through cultivating determination. Achieve it through developing resilience. Achieve it through showing up repeatedly, long after collective interest has faded, and will ultimately reach our destination. Maintain persistent forward movement. Sufficient action renders any objective attainable. Every significant achievement emerges from discomfort. Once we acclimate to discomfort, our limitations essentially vanish. Shortcuts don't exist. Quick fixes are illusions. If we select the comfortable route, we assure ourselves it proves lengthier and more agonizing than the challenging alternative. Select the difficult route, the route demanding accountability, diligent effort, and self-denial. The route requiring structure, modesty, and possession, ultimately guiding us toward liberation. The journey won't prove simple, yet we possess the capacity. Structure equals liberation. This isn't contradictory. It's mathematical. Structure paves the path toward freedom. Structure drives daily implementation. Structure conquers the endless justifications restraining us. Integrate structure into our daily existence, and our daily existence will improve.